1 acre in Spirit Lake, Idaho, up in Kootenai County. My name is Miles McLaughlin here at Wilco. Rolling out a new property with you here. This is just a magnificent small town outside of Coeur d'Alene and Sandpoint, Idaho, up in North Idaho region of the country. In this video, I'm going to break down the property. I'm going to talk about utilities. I'm going to talk about how you can access the property. Everything I know about this piece of land. Before getting started, I do want to share a disclaimer. This isn't legal advice. This is not real estate advice. Me as one of the property owners here at Wilco Land, I'm sharing with you what I know through my due diligence, through my research of this property myself. So you as a buyer ultimately are going to have to verify this information and make sure it's going to be the right fit for you and your needs. So again, in this video, I'm going to break down how you can view it on your own. We do offer more of a self-service model and also talk about utilities and kind of the target audience. We're in town here, right? This is a residential property. That's what this is geared towards here in Spirit Lake. I'll show you where we're located on a map here. Spirit Lake, Idaho is right here. It's really a cute little town. They've got a public access point down to this lake. And you can take a peek, look at that. They've got a bunch of things on Google Maps you can look at. This is right out your doorstep, right? Access to Spirit Lake in this quaint little town in Idaho, right? We know Coeur d'Alene's growing, Sandpoint's growing like crazy. Spirit Lake offers a small town feel, yet you're really close to Coeur d'Alene, you're close to Spokane, and you're pretty close to Sandpoint, and this is Schweitzer Mountain, this is ski area. So you've got Lake Pend Oreille, Lake Coeur d'Alene down here, CDA, and then Spirit Lake is right here. This is a really cool area, and I'll dive into the property a little bit more, but I want to show you a little bit more about this town of Spirit Lake. This is an amazing long-term land investment as well. Not only is it geared towards building, you're going to be able to buy this property at probably half a market value, if not more. I'm going to talk about the market a little bit more and why this is such a good value. There is a sewer moratorium. So what's going on here is this area is growing so fast, it's tapped out for sewer, right? And so right now there's a moratorium. They're not allowing new hookups to the city sewer. That's going to be lifted in anywhere from 3 to 5 years. That's what the counties told us. That's through our research. Obviously that's variable, that can change, but what you're buying here is you're buying an opportunity if you're not looking to build today. So if you want to build right now, if you need to build a house in Idaho in less than 12 or 24 months, this might not be the property for you. I'll be the first person to tell you that. But if you're going to retire out here in 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, if you're looking to invest in North Idaho, you believe in North Idaho, this moratorium is going to be lifted. You're going to be able to hook into sewer. And then city water and power is stubbed right at the lot line. We showed you that in a photo here. So the only thing you're waiting on is for the sewer moratorium to be lifted. Here's Spirit Lake. Here's the high school. Really a nice neighborhood. These are new builds. Really nice homes. Everybody's got large lots, acre lots. You're not on top of each other. A lot checks out and a lot's going for this property. And the value really is saying, hey, I don't need to build today. I can wait 3, 4, 5, 6 years to build. And more than likely that you probably can't find a builder out here that can start a project for you in less than a year or two, to be honest with you. So it's not that long of a timetable. And you're going to get the property at half a market value. So whether it's 5 or 10 years down the road when you decide to sell or build, the property is going to be worth, in my opinion, at least double. Not only are you going to get appreciation, inflation, that's going to increase the value of your real estate, but you're going to get the moratorium lifting. And at that point, your property is probably worth double. And we can look at the market on Zillow too. I'll pull it up. So we can look at alternatives and stuff in North Idaho. Again, utility, water, power, phone box, everything's at the lot line. This thing's ready to be built on, just waiting for the moratorium for sewer to be, connections to be lifted out here in Spirit Lake. You can call the county or the city of Spirit Lake and learn more about that moratorium if you want. I believe we've got some information here posted with the county. You can call that number. The zoning's R1, low density residential. You can read more about what that means, clicking this link here on our website. So, right, we've got easy access. I talk about this property. If we zoom out, we're located here in Spirit Lake, Idaho. There's a lot of imagery you can get. We can drop in downtown Spirit Lake. You can take a peek at it. Like I said, it's a really cool town in Idaho here. It's definitely up and coming. Coeur d'Alene's blowing out. Sandpoint's blowing out. Spirit Lake's, it's where you want to be, So again, this is a pretty cool park area out here. We can hop on the bridge. I think that's what I did earlier. I'll show you one more image back here of the lake. This is what you can expect living in Spirit Lake. So that's pretty cool. There's a high school and all that good stuff too. So close to skiing, close to the mountains, pretty close to Coeur d'Alene, close to Sandpoint. Central location, quiet little town and a nice lake there. Hard to go wrong if you want to live in North Idaho to not think about this as a good land investment for you. And so folks who want to visit the property, I'd recommend just using the GPS coordinates. It's really easy to access. Just go ahead and plug them into, like, my favorite app is Onyx Maps. I'll plug them in just like this. I have the Onyx Hunt going. And what it does is it overlays, I've got a layer on that overlays Idaho land ownership. And if we look at this with satellite imagery, we can see these people have built here. People are building, right? These are pretty new homes. They must have built before the moratorium was in place. These are all pretty new homes too. You can just tell by those driveways. Those are all pretty recently developed. And so then we've got this one, right? This is the property we own. There's a bike trail going in front of it, right? A nice bike trail sidewalk. Madison Street, it's located on the street there. So if I zoom in again to our property, plugging in those GPS coordinates, I can probably even get street views and take a peek at what the land looks like right here. So I can pop right in front of it and see, what the neighborhood looks like. You can go up and down the street. You can see our properties right here. Okay. We can go down the street, see what these people built. These are pretty similar ideas of what you could do with your property, right? And this is where we're at, located in Spirit Lake. So just right on the edge of town here, gives you kind of that rural feel to it while having access to really downtown Spirit Lake there. What am I missing in this video? We talked about access. We talked about where this is at on a map. At the end of this video, now I'll finish just kind of talking about the market. I believe we have one of the best deals in North Idaho with this property. I don't think you can get deals. We have an acre, so let's go half an acre minimum size. I'll zoom out here. I'll go land only. If you're looking to build something custom, if you're familiar with this market, it's going to be expensive to buy a home up in North Idaho right now. But if we look at Spirit Lake and I look at land, so we've got our property. It's pinned in the wrong spot, but we're listed right here 21 hours ago. This is a super active market, 12 saves already, right? A lot of activity. Then you've got another property, which is on the same street. These are pinned in the wrong location, it looks like. So they're listing, this might even be the next door property, to be honest with you. Been on the market for a while. It's listed for 159, right? So people aren't giving away their properties quite that easily. Here's another property for 82. There's no utilities going to this property. There's no road going to this property. You can clearly see that. This property has no road access. It might have a road platted to it, but this is your road going to the property. There's no city water or power stubbed to the lot line, so you're pulling power to your property. And you got to figure out, again, there's probably a sewer moratorium. Here's what it looks like. This probably just didn't get developed. So if we go on Onyx Maps again and look at all these properties back here, this is what we're looking at. All this stuff got platted out at one point and not developed. I would venture to say, I haven't called the city or the county. I would venture to say, hey, we're not allowing septic systems. These are in city limits. You have to wait to build on these too. So maybe the developer stopped building roads. These don't have fire escape roads and stuff. I don't know what the city's going to say about building on these properties anytime in the near future. Our property is ready to be developed on. You can see that other neighbors have. The only thing we're waiting on is a sewer moratorium. These properties down here may need city standard roads, which would require curbs and gutters, fire escapes, things like that. None of that's been finished. Who's going to be responsible for those costs for all these properties? Yes, someday, the way North Idaho is growing, this will get developed. Whether it's a developer that finishes it, the city, the tax dollars, or private individuals start building back here. I don't know how it's going to play out, but just keep in mind, this is all appears to be city limits. I doubt they're going to allow wells and septics on these properties. So again, looking through these listings, this is priced more than us. These are actually really great photos of the park in Spirit Lake that people have access to. Giving you a depiction of Spirit Lake here. I think this is a cool property. Like I still like it. I guess if you can put a well and septic, this is a no-brainer. It should be sold for $90,000. If you can build and put a well and septic, this is a no-brainer that should be sold, in my opinion. But I'm guessing Spirit Lake has a city beach access boat launch and a lot of recreational activities. I'm assuming they're not talking about great investment for a future build. they've got the same issue as us, right? And there's no road going to the property, so none of that stuff's been finished. So they're really advertising a long-term land investment here at $81,000, significantly higher than our $69,000 price point. And if I zoom out, here's one for 65. This is the same story. This doesn't even appear to have access besides this little alleyway. Kind of a small little lot here. Pins, not my favorite, go check it out if you're looking for properties. But again, probably the same issues, undeveloped property, you're not going to be able to build until that sewer moratorium's lifted. And quite frankly, there's an easement or something going through your property. I don't know. Hey, this could be a good listing too. If you're interested in ours, maybe we can match that if you're debating between the two, but you're not going to find anything in this market. We talk about let's compare this to Sandpoint, the way Sandpoint is. These are buildable properties up in Sandpoint. I'm just going to sort low to high and see, you can't even get your foot in the door on anything in Sandpoint, for less than $100,000. Obviously these are much larger properties. So maybe I can do a filter and zoom out between like a half an acre and, 2 acres, for example, and just see what there is in North Idaho. But there's not going to be much. I know that. So you can buy something, I guess, like these properties. I don't know what the deal is with these, but they're there. They're out there. So this one looks pretty steep, pretty tiny little profile there, stuffed between the highway and somebody's driveway. Not preferable. My point is, that's a really nice 1 acre tract of land we're looking at, and we're going to be one of the cheapest deals you can find in North Idaho. Yes, you got to wait to build. There's cool listings out there. I think you're going to be long ways away from power and utilities, but that's something for you as a buyer. You got to figure all that stuff out, right? So thanks for tuning in. That's a little bit of a summary on the market. You know what you're buying here. We've talked a lot about it. You want to learn more about the moratorium, call the city, get with them, talk a little bit more about it. Feel free to go drive out to this property on your own. I do have it listed with a real estate agent, Aaron Cooper. If you want an agent to show you the property too and connect you with builders and all that good stuff, her information is going to be in the Zillow listing here. So you can reach out to her for showings, or if you need help with due diligence or looking at properties. So give us a shout. We have other land deals in Idaho, Northwest Montana. I've got something in Columbia Falls. Take a peek at the homepage, take a gander out there. Again, our business, we buy and sell raw land, trying to focus on unique and epic areas of the country. So again, more self-service model, but I'm happy to help. I'm happy to have that conversation with you. If you're interested in buying something here, you can reach me at 605-250-1256. Thanks for tuning in.